which means that your hair can grow healthier. You just have to be extremely gentle with it. Maybe use the same amount of oil, which in turn can stunt hair growth. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Andree. If you've not been here before, hi, welcome. And today's video is some myths I want you to forget. I want you to know the truth behind them. I want you to know for a fact that they're not true. There are so many things that we believe that are urban legends, really and truly. They don't exist. There's no real logic behind them. And I just thought, and they've been said for so many years, that I think the truth has got lost in there somewhere. So this video is to clear them out of your minds. So I hope you enjoy this video. So the first myth is your hair grows faster when you trim your hair. That's absolutely not true. Your hair has got nothing to do with what happens at the follicles of your hair or the roots of your hair. They are two different sections of the hair. Trimming hair means nothing to what happens at the top of your hair. Of course, the more you trim, it improves the appearance of your hair and the health of your hair, in terms of you don't have any split ends, which means that your hair can grow healthier and longer in that sense. But apart from that, it really has nothing to do with how fast your hair grows. Your hair will still grow at the rate that it grows, regardless whether you trim your hair 3 times in a month or whenever. I particularly advise that my clients trim between 8 to 12 weeks, depending on how damaged their hair is or what our routine for them is. So whatever we have set together for them, then that's what I would recommend. But guys, trimming your hair has got nothing to do with how fast your hair grows at all, ever. This one I don't hear as much anymore, but it's still a myth. The less you comb your hair, the less the breakage. Now, it's kind of true and false, but it's definitely more on the false side, for the simple fact that you affect the amount of breakage that your hair will have if you're very rough and vigorous with it. Hair, especially Afro hair, needs love, tenderness and care. You cannot be rough with it, because once it's out, it's out. So being very gentle and working from your ends to your roots in sections is very, very important. However, if your hair's going to shed, it's going to shed. A pure example of that is postpartum shedding. You cannot stop postpartum shedding from happening. If your hair is going through an excessive breakage, you cannot stop it from, like, the hair that's going to come out will come out. Recently we discovered that have had COVID have had hair loss, and there's nothing that can be done. Once your hair is going through that process, you can only move along with that process. What you can do is try to maintain your hair while that is happening. There's not really much that can be done. I mean, I've tried to do a lot. There are some things that you can do that are more on the pricier side to maybe tackle that, but ultimately, if your hair's going to shed, it's going to shed. You just have to be extremely gentle with it. Maybe put it away so you don't see the amount of shedding every day. But again, if it's going to shed, it's going to shed. So the third one is, and this is one that hairdressers love. They love this one. Your hair is shinier if you rinse it with cold water. Again, your hair is not a living thing. It's not alive, so therefore it doesn't react to hot or cold water. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So your hair doesn't care whether the water is boiling hot or the water is extremely cold. I know the reasoning behind it is that it closes the cuticles, which helps bring shine to the hair, but all you have to do is just use products to do that. You don't actually, again, your hair reacts to products and to environmental factors. It's not alive. It hasn't got an immune system. So unfortunately, that's also a myth. Another one is, if you shampoo less often, your hair will produce less oil. Now, I don't know who started that one. That one takes me out. Listen to me and listen to me well. It is your personal choice when you decide to wash your hair and all of that jimmy jazz. Again, the guideline that I always give my clients is 1 to 2 weeks, 10 days, depends on your lifestyle, how you do it. But understand this, no matter what you do, your hair will still produce the same amount of oil. Your scalp will still produce the same amount of oil. There's nothing you can really do about that. That's what happens. Now, by not shampooing your hair often, what happens is you have build-up and it clogs up the hair follicles, which in turn can stunt hair growth. That is the truth of the matter. Whatever you do with that information is completely up to you. But I really want to infuse on the fact that your hair will produce, your scalp will produce the same amount of oil. Like, that's set. It's like me. I have dry scalp and my hair is always flaky. Now again, environmental factors means that it can be worse or it can get better, but ultimately it always produces flakes. So I'm just here to, like, there are no stupid things that are said or whatever. I think education is good for all of us. I'm always looking at things myself, and I mean, apart from these factors that I'm giving you today, there are some factors myself that I've not known, because I looked up some of the myths myself and I was like, oh, that one's a myth, that one's a myth. But I thought I'd start off with the ones that really bother me. If you keep using the same shampoo and conditioner for a long period of time, eventually it will stop working. That one is simply not true. Your hair's not a living cell. It doesn't have an immune system, so therefore it can't react to such things. If something works for you, then it works for you. Now, what can affect your hair are things like environmental factors and chemically treating your hair in a certain way. Those can change the way your hair reacts to certain things. So that's when you probably will need to upgrade to a new shampoo or a new conditioner, whether it's if you recently colored your hair, if you have recently gone from natural to being relaxed. Those sort of factors will affect your hair, and you may need to change shampoos. Not all the time, but sometimes you may need to up your game and change your shampoo or change your routine a little bit. And also environmental factors have effects on the hair, i.e. humidity, the weather, rains, that sort of stuff. But your hair's not a living cell. It hasn't got any living cells in it, and it doesn't have an immune system. So that particular myth is false. Now, this one bothers me. I've even been guilty of thinking this, that if you have one grey hair, you pluck it, 2 more come in its place. Now, they were already coming. I've had grey hairs appear, and maybe 2 weeks later, without plucking it, their friends have come to join, and now a village is forming at the front of my hair. Now, this is something that it bothers me, but you just need to let Mother Nature do its thing. There's nothing, I don't even know where this one came from, but it does seem like an attack. Like, the grey hairs are attacking us. Like, they'll just be appearing on your face. I have one on my eyebrow, and I'm like, sir, where did you come from? You don't live here, you shouldn't be here. And then all of a sudden 3 more came. So once one arrives, he makes a home for the rest of them to come. So you need to just come up with something with your hairstylist, or, you know, just let Mother Nature do its thing, whatever you decide. But plucking can cause scarring to your scalp, and it can cause thinning, so try to avoid that. So those are some of the myths that I wanted to talk about today. I hope this video has helped. Let me know some of the myths that you've heard, and some of the myths that are backed by science that aren't true. I would love to hear from you in the comment section, because I love reading your comments. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day. Peace.